Hi Stampers, today we'll be making this card, and to make this card we've used the wood grain background stamp and the Elements of Style stamp set from Stampin' Up, and we'll also be using the coloured floral design that I done a video tutorial of through the week. This was made with the blender pen and the not quite navy, Lucky Limeade and River Rock ink pads, but the tutorial for that is available on my blog or on my YouTube channel. We'll also be using soft suede for the back, which is just an A4 piece of cardstock scored and down the center and folded in half. We'll also be using a 13 by 9 centimeter piece of soft suede, a 14 by 9.5 centimeter piece of Very Vanilla, and a scrap piece of Lucky Limeade. We'll also be using some hemp twine or linen thread, and we'll get started. To start off with, I'm just going to do my background, and for that we're just going to ink up our wood grain background stamp using a scratch piece of paper in soft suede. We're now going to, in the soft suede, we're also going to use the smaller piece and ink that as well. Yep. Okay, we can now put our background stamp away, and we will now, with our card base, we're just going to ink around the edges. There we go. I'm happy with that. All the ink. We're now, before we ink around our smaller piece, we're just going to cut that down, and we need three pieces of 1.5 or about 3.2 centimeters or 1 1/4 inches, and each one needs to be 1 1/4 inches or 3.2 centimeters. There we go. Now with these we're going to ink around the edges, and then we're also going to just run over the top of them with the ink. So just lightly run over the top of it just to darken it. And now we're just going to ink around that. And there we go. We're now going to get our 14 by 9.5 piece of Very Vanilla, and using the large floral design from the Elements of Style and my Friskers press. I used the Friskers press to make it easier on my fingers to stamp, and we're going to ink that in soft suede, and then just stamp that up in the top. There we go, the top left hand corner, and press that down once. There we go. Now we're going to ink that again. I should put a scrap piece of paper under there. And I'm just going to rotate that and press that back into the top right corner. Now I'm just going to ink around the edge of this piece. There we go. And then we're just going to use our sponge and very lightly just run it over the rest of the design. And there we go. We're now going to adhere our 1 1/3 inches, or there we go, our 1 1/4 inch thick pieces of soft suede. We're just going to adhere those down as even as we can. There we go. Now we're going to take our 1 1/16 inch circle punch, and we're just going to take I don't know if you can see this, how I've just made a dot in each end, and you're going to do that to each of the pieces of soft suede. We're just going to wind some hemp string or linen thread. If I could find my linen thread, I would use that. So I'll be back in a minute with some, there we go, I don't have to be back. And then we're just going to put just a little bit of tape on the back. And we're just going to piece that through the bottom. And pull that through. Then once we have it all the way through, we're just going to stick that down to the tape. And we're just going to wind that through that first hole again. And we're going to go through around each. If you can't get it through the hole, I just use the end of a pencil and push it through. Like that. If you have a needle and thread that's big enough, and then from there you're just going to go straight into this next hole and do the same thing. Okay, now that I've gone all the way through, we're just going to put a little bit more tape on the top, stick that piece down and trim that off. And then you're going to repeat that for the other side. We're now going to attach this piece down to the card base, just with snail. And there we go. We're now going to get our ink put away just for a moment. And we're going to bring, we're now going to work on our piece here, and to do this circle, our circle is 3 inches, and to get a 3-inch circle we're just going to use our Circle Scissors Plus. We're now going to just sponge around this in soft suede. and then just run over it with the sponge. I think I ran over it a little bit darker this time. And there we go. We're now going to take our, if I can find it, our, wrong one, our 1/2 inch circle punch, and we're just going to cut out some of these. Ooh. And then just ink around them, or half of them. We're now going to attach these to our circle. We're going to use, I'm going to use our 2-way pen. And there we go. And there's our scalloped 3-inch circle. We're now going to bring back our card base, and we're now going to attach that with dimensions. We're now going to, in not quite navy, we're just going to stamp one of the hummingbirds onto a piece of Very Vanilla. And then we're just going to cut around that. Going to ink around that in Soft Suede. And there we go. I might put it just on the bottom of the card this time, because I've left the blank bit down here at the bottom. And on the past card I just put it over the naked spot on the floral design. So this time I might just alter it a little bit, and I'm just going to stick it down towards the bottom instead. There we go. Now we'll just do our sentiment, which we just need a great piece of paper. And then in Soft Suede we're just going to ink up the Life is a Matter of Moments from the Elements of Style stamp set as well. And then we'll get our large tag punch, and we'll just I don't want it this big, so I'm just going to cut a little bit off of the sides, and then we're just going to sponge around that. We're just going to take our hole punch, our 1 1/16, and just punch a hole in the center of our little tag. Then grabbing a little bit of the hemp or linen thread, piece that through, and then we're just going to tie a bow, and then we'll just adhere that to the and that is the card for today. I'm sorry it took so long. Thanks for watching. Bye.